What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I got kind of a controversial take on today's video. We have some new evidence. I'm sure, as you saw by the thumbnail. Oh yeah, we're gonna dig into the weeds on this one, y'all. Get ready, buckle up, because this one's gonna get great. Y'all know I have a controversial take on this whole situation, right? This whole situation, Derek Chauvin, George Floyd, sparked off the largest protests, I think, in U.S. history. $2 billion worth of damage, several people killed, several businesses burned to the freaking ground, and all over a misinterpretation of actuality, right? People just can't seem to get past the whole knee on the neck thing, right? Well, we've proven outright on this channel in the past, and it's been a while since I've covered this topic, but we've proven outright on the channel in the past. Look at the damn toxicology report, or the autopsy report, if you will, right? The second one, not the first one, not the biased one. Look at the second one. Look at all of the illicit drugs in this guy's system. This is insane. I'm not going to read this thing out, but you can see it for yourself. If you want to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video, zoom in, and you can see, you know, fentanyl, methamphetamines. There's a litany of things in this guy's system, right? And we also saw from the autopsy report that there was no significant damage to the neck and spine area, right? Then we go over all the things that George Floyd done to get himself into that position. For crying out loud, the guy was sitting in the back of the car, handcuffed, completely safe, says he can't breathe, asked to be taken out of the car, tries to escape, they throw him on the ground, put the knee on the neck for 9 minutes. Now, do I agree with most people? Because right when I put that video out there, I got a lot of blowback. Oh, you're racist. But then, you know, there were some genuine concerns, comments, or whatever, you know. And hey, look, I agree with you. 9 minutes, yeah, that's a good long time. However, you know what I'm saying. On this matter specifically, when you put yourself in that situation, don't expect to get treated with kid gloves. That's all I'm going to say, right? You should expect to be roughed up a little bit. And if you have taken a lot of drugs, right, this is not a good thing. This is not a good situation to be in, right? You're putting yourself into a dangerous situation. Now, I'm not saying Derek Chauvin is completely innocent of anything. He was convicted on conspiracy against rights, I do believe. Now, I don't know if this was part and parcel of the protests that were happening when his conviction came down the pipeline, because I do believe that this guy didn't get a fair trial. As a matter of fact, the judge himself stated this, that there's no way, all right, they was wanting to change a venue, but there's no way that this guy's going to get a fair trial anywhere in the United States. So let's just go through with it. Now, hang on, right? Already, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. Now, they ignored the autopsy report. They ignored some evidence, but we have new evidence. What am I ranting about? Why am I bringing this up? Why am I reopening old wounds, you might ask? Check this out, y'all. Judge allows testing of tissue from George Floyd as officer convicted of killing him seeks a new trial. This is crazy, and I've got a video clip for you guys to show, but I'm going to show that when the time is right, if you know what I mean. Let's get into this thing right quick. A judge has granted permission to lawyers for Derek Chauvin to have samples from George Floyd's examined as part of the former Minneapolis police officer's efforts to challenge his conviction on a federal civil rights charge stemming from George Floyd's death in 2020. U.S. District Judge Paul Magnuson agreed in an order Monday to let the defense examine Floyd's heart tissue and fluid samples to test a theory that Floyd died of a heart condition aggravated by a rare tumor, not, as prosecutors contend, from asphyxiation caused by, get this, the white officer pressing his knee on the black man's neck for 9.5 minutes, despite Floyd's dying cries of, "I can't breathe." Now, this is where I have problems with places like the AP and the manipulation outright, right? This is our main goal of this channel, is to point out corporate press manipulations. Now, why would they say that Derek Chauvin is a white man pressing the knee on a black man? Why would they put white and black in there? I think just about everybody knows the skin colors of these two people. Why do we need to be reminded of this? Why do we need to be reminded that, oh, prosecutors say he died from asphyxiation? Don't, ignore what the autopsy report says. These people, they are trying to stir up garbage. That's what they're trying to do. Now, this is bombshell evidence. As a matter of fact, this is the perfect time to go ahead and run this clip.
Certainly the very first legal win for Derek Chauvin, and we've been reporting all of it over here at Alpha News. But this is a federal judge who has finally come back approving this motion that has been in the works for months to examine heart tissue in George Floyd and also some fluids from George Floyd's body as well. And basically, this is related to what's called a paraganglioma. This was discussed in the fall of Minneapolis. Some doctors came forward during Derek Chauvin's case to say, why wasn't this tumor tested in George Floyd? In many cases, it can lead to sudden cardiac death. They brought this information forward. His attorney at the time did not act upon this information according to court documents. And also the Judge Peter Cahill, ignored it as well. So in this motion, the judge has now said that this testing can take place. What really, does this tumor have anything to do with his death?
Okay, so this is bombshell testimony right here. This is bombshell evidence, right? Possible exculpatory evidence to prove that Derek Chauvin did not kill George Floyd outright. Now, this backs up my theory on this, that yes, it was the litany of drugs. It was other things in his system causing his heart to race, because that second autopsy report also says he dies from heart failure. I believe it said heart failure. Of course, they put the medical word in there, and I don't remember what that is, but essentially it's tantamount to heart failure, or it is heart failure, as a matter of fact. But this is just insanity, right? The corporate press manipulating on this, trying to rile up our emotions on this, to bring us back to May of 2020, or, whenever the trial was. I think the trial was in 2021, but bring us back to right after this happened. Bring us back to the riots all over the damn place, to get us riled up, to get us going against this, to think that, oh, they're going to put a guilty man convicted of murder, right? I don't believe that Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd. Now, I've stated my opinion on this in the past. As a matter of fact, it's changed. I don't think he's even responsible for the death of George Floyd at this point. Not after seeing that second autopsy report. Not after seeing this, right? Because, once again, the judge and his own freaking lawyer passed up possible evidence. Let's test this thing. Let's see if this actually caused some sort of damage that, helped to kill this guy, right? Like, the second autopsy report showing that there was minor bruising to his neck and shoulder area on George Floyd kind of proved it to me. All the drugs in his system is one thing, but, not having significant damage. Hang on, so the knee on the neck didn't kill him, right? He's talking about, how the corporate press says his dying cries of, "I can't breathe." Well, you know what? Logic dictates that if you cannot breathe, you cannot talk, right? He also said he couldn't breathe when he was in the back of a cop car handcuffed, right? These people, they're just trying to rile up our emotions. Drop your emotions, drop your preconceived notions of all of this. Get it out of your mind that Derek Chauvin's a murderer, and let's focus on the facts here. The facts don't support Derek Chauvin being guilty of what he was convicted of. But let's keep going, because this is fascinating stuff here. Floyd's death touched off protests worldwide, some of which turned violent and forced a national reckoning with police brutality and racism. Yeah, don't forget about that. Yeah, I think we all remember this. Chauvin was convicted in a state court on murder charges in 2021 and pled guilty later that year in federal court to violating Floyd's civil rights. His federal defender for his appeal attempt, Robert Myers, argued in his request that Chauvin's original attorney, Eric Nelson, failed to inform his client that an outside pathologist not directly involved in the case, Dr. William Schatzel, Schatzel of Topeka, Kansas, had contacted Nelson before Chauvin entered his plea and offered an unsolicited theory that Chauvin did not cause Floyd's death. Chauvin claims that amounted to ineffective assistance counsel and is seeking a new trial, saying he would not have pled guilty if he had known about the pathologist. This is all insane, right? So his own attorney ignored this guy over here saying, look, I think it's bogus. I've looked at the autopsy report. I've looked at all the evidence. I don't think your client is guilty. And he just decided not to tell his client about this. This is insane. Once again, I believe personally, and you'll probably see this on the thumbnail. I haven't made the thumbnail yet, so you'll probably see this. Derek Chauvin is innocent. Right? Outright. Just seriously. Like this, we have to go through another trial. Seriously. I can't pass this up, right? And not only the autopsy report from an unbiased source, right? But this new evidence of this guy had a tumor on his freaking heart, okay? And then that second autopsy report talked about heart failure. So hang on here. We need to back up. We need to zoom out a little bit, take a look at all this evidence when we don't have a freaking riot going on, when we don't have public opinion wanting this man's neck, essentially, right? We don't have a lot of knowledge on this situation, so we can get a fair trial somewhere. Don't know where exactly, but we need to re-examine our preconceived notions on this and take a look at this again, because once again, if we put an innocent man through the ringer for no reason, I think that's an injustice. It's like something I think Benjamin Franklin said. It's better that 100 guilty persons get away with whatever than one innocent person suffer. That's the impetus for our justice system in this country. It's supposed to be blind justice, right? We're supposed to get to the bottom of these things, find the guilty people, and let the innocent people go. This is why we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But hang on, our system has been corrupted over the years, hasn't it? Right? It is now the way you look at it from the defendant's position is you're guilty and you got to prove your innocence in a court of law. It's not the other way around, because you don't put innocent people in jail just outright. I will say that. That's why, bail bonds and all that stuff. I've got some issues with this. I'm not one of these people that think we need to just get rid of cash bail. No, I'm not saying that, because violent people that haven't been convicted yet, if it's a danger to society, I think we might need to lock these people up, right? Especially if they have a history. But like, take me for instance. I've been to jail before on 0 violent charges outright. And I've had to sit in jail for over a month waiting on to get bonded out, right? I didn't really do anything wrong. But, I did break the law, but I say I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, you got me on that one. I did do something wrong, but it wasn't violent and I wasn't a threat to anybody. But this is something, if this man's innocent, right, if he is definitely not a murderer, then he needs a new trial for sure, right? And he needs to be let out of prison until this new trial goes through. And if we find him guilty again, then, it is what it is. But all this new evidence needs to be brought in, and we need to re-examine this thing with a clean eye, if you will. But let's keep going. But federal prosecutors have argued in court filings that Nelson made a reasonable tactical decision not to explore an untested opinion offered by someone holding himself out as an expert. Hang on, this dude's a doctor. What are you talking about? Holding himself out as an expert. See, this is an opinion piece. This is not news. Once again, like I said, y'all, the corporate press, they love to fabricate a narrative. They love to make you think one thing when it's really not. And I am here to offset that narrative building, if you will, because this guy's a doctor. As a matter of fact, he is an expert. They pointed out that Nelson consulted with other medical experts in preparation for Chauvin's cases, and including one who testified in state court, but that the jury in that case rejected Chauvin's medical defense. They also noted that the legal barriers to succeeding on a claim of ineffective counsel are very high. Yeah, he's got an uphill battle, that is for sure, but I think he can make it, especially with this new evidence. Nelson declined to comment Tuesday. Chauvin is serving his 20-year federal civil rights and 22-and-a-half-year state murder sentences concurrently at a federal prison in Texas. The U.S. Supreme Court last year rejected Chauvin's appeal of his murder conviction. That is right. So he has got an uphill battle. It's going to be a long road on this one, but I think we need to get to some sort of exoneration of these charges and get a new trial outright. With this new evidence, with the second autopsy report for sure, and with public opinion not so biased at the time, right? Not when there's riots going on all over the place, right? Not when everybody knows about this and everybody believes he's guilty because of corporate press manipulations, right? They didn't tell the public everything that went on. They didn't give out George Floyd's history. They didn't tell us why George Floyd was in the position that he was in. They didn't tell us all of the details. They just said, oh, a white man put his knee on the neck of a black guy, and they just said, and he died from that, and expect us not to get pissed off about that, right? Well, when you don't tell us the pertinent details that we need to know about this, of course we're going to get pissed off about this. Of course you're going to get riots, right? Like, I blame the corporate press for the Summer of Love, for all those BLM riots, right? Because they want to drum up ratings for themselves. And how do they do that? By pissing people off, right? If you're angered about something, you get engaged. You pay attention to what's going on, right? So they get their ratings, and we get the Summer of Love, just outright. So this is an injustice to me. We need to go back with blind justice, as a matter of fact, as the criminal court system is supposed to be. It's supposed to be blind. We're not supposed to be biased. We're supposed to get a jury of our peers that don't really know, don't have an opinion either way on the case. They need to know all of the details, right? All of this stuff came out in court, though. The jury did know all the details, but they didn't have access to that second autopsy report, and they didn't have access to this new information, right? Pretty much making the original trial a moot point. We need a new trial because there's new evidence, exculpatory evidence, possibly exculpatory evidence. So we need to examine all this with a fresh eye, keen face, bushy-tailed, bright-eyed, and ready to go, if you will. But I think that's all I got on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section, because when I saw this, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Let's drum this up again. Let's open these old wounds, because we need to discuss this thing. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. But before you go, I need you guys to do me a big favor and smash that like button for me. Need your help on that one. If you're new around here, subscribe. Hey, always appreciate that. I hope I've earned it from you, hopefully. But, also hit that notification bell. That really, really helps, because YouTube doesn't really recommend my videos as they should, if you will. But hey, I'm trying to compete with thousands, if not tens of thousands of channels here. So it is what it is. I totally understand that. So I need you guys' help to share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That would be greatly appreciated. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.